Hello everybody, here we are today and we're going to be doing a Eastern Semi-Final preview, or I guess recap I should say, between the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Montreal Alouettes. So before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or the CFL, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get into it. So yes, this is a few days late. I am very aware of that. I apologize, it's been a crazy week, but we're going to be going off of my memory of this game. Kind of dangerous. I did take notes, but we're going to just kind of go through this and get this video out and see how you kind of like the recaps without the notes aspect and more off the top of my head. So in this one, this was big as you had a round 3 clash between these two sides. You had seen these two teams play each other in the 2021 and 2022 playoffs. They know each other fairly well. They play each other fairly often, obviously being in the same division, and the CFL having their scheduling woes. This would see Matthew Schultz get a start over Bo Levi Mitchell. Kind of makes sense because Schultz has been able to have a better year, and he had a good time in Montreal as well. If you can remember that far back, it wasn't that long ago that he played for the Owls. But anyway, this one starts off big because you have a good crowd in Montreal. And the defense ends up getting a stop when Hamilton looks like they're going to come away with at least a field goal. Maybe they end up scoring on this drive. They force a fumble, end up giving the ball back to the Owls offense. And I think keeping Hamilton off the board there was big early. And this would be one of those deals in this game. Points were very hard to come by, especially for Hamilton's offense. And the Owls defense really stepped up a lot of times when they needed to. Guys like Sean Lemon, Darnell Sankey, Lowell Uguak especially had a big impact on this game. And as time kept going on, and you would see Montreal's defense continuing to perform, especially in big moments, you felt like Montreal was probably going to pull away with this one. This is kind of where the game shifted. Maybe not astronomically, but with Darnell Sankey getting the interception off that tip ball towards the end of the half and allowing Austin Mack to be able to score there to make it a 14-6 game at the end of the half. That is big because it really does give the Owls a little bit more cushion. It's not a big cushion, but where you don't have to worry about, okay, if we have a pick six right here or something like that, we are right back to square one. So those impact plays were just so crucial for this game. As we move to the third quarter, you see this game kind of get a little bit closer, and where you say, okay, this is still a relatively close ball game. And at one point, you even get to see it, I believe it was in the fourth quarter, become a 17-12 game. The problem is Montreal just took away any life that the Tiger Cats had in this one. Just right then and there, it was Jake Hardy that was able to score a touchdown here, and they were able to go up 24-12. Not saying that in that moment, as soon as Hardy scored that touchdown, I think it was his first of the year, by the way, if I was listening to it correctly, that the Tiger Cats were probably cooked. This is where things get really weird, though. I don't remember if it was 27-12 at the time or if it was 24-12 at the time. Probably 27-12 at the time. Bo Levi Mitchell comes into the game with about 6.5 minutes left to go in the game. And at that point, you start to wonder, I mean, why did they wait so long to throw him out there? I didn't know if they were going to split up series, if they were going to split up drives, or whatever the case was going to be. But at this point, I felt like, when it's 24-12, what would be the harm to throwing him out there? And in general, just having it to where it was a relatively close game. Maybe they were worried about him throwing an interception. I couldn't tell you. But eventually we would get to see, Walt Fletcher get some carries in the fourth, and the Owls go on to win this game. Thanks in part to their offense not making so many crazy mistakes that it's not an issue, but capitalizing on turnovers that their offense, or I should say their defense, was able to give them. In their defense, limiting the Tabbies offense to 4 field goals on the day. I don't know how many drives they had. I had a thing that was able to keep track of that last year. Now they made it to where you had to pay for it this year, so I'm not paying for it. But still, one of those games where Montreal's defense was able to prove yet again why this team was able to be 4-0 against the Tiger Cats in the regular season and postseason combined. But I think a lot of this talking now is really centered on the fact that there was stuff going on after the game. You had the whole, is Coach O going to be gone? Orlando Steinauer, is his time and done with the Tabbies? Or is he going to be able to stick around into next year? Bo Levi Mitchell, he even said it himself. He is the highest paid player on their team. And while he wants to be a leader, he also wants to see playing time. So will he be there with the team after this season? Will a lot of these guys still be there after the end of the season? I don't know. But all around, I got to say that Montreal's offense, I think, was able to keep things going. And I think a key thing that I ended up tweeting out in this game, or after this game in the BC game, was the fact that a guy like Fajardo, who didn't have a ton of passing attempts in this game, did have an interception, I believe, was able to not make a lot of mistakes, was able to capitalize on key moments, but I'll tell you what really made the difference: his running ability. Just like Vern, there was a big run in the second half where it was pretty much Hamilton going to be getting the ball back. He gets a big, like 20-yard game or something like that, where he's able to keep the drive alive, chew clock, and more importantly, keep the ball away from Hamilton. So all in all, I think this was a good win for Montreal. They have a tough test in playing Toronto next week. Their defense, led by guys like Sankey and Sean Lemon, who ended up saying before the game he was going to sack whoever was the quarterback or both the quarterbacks, and he did, are going to have to play big in this moment. But I really do like what they've got going here. They have to be able to put up more points, but at the same time, if their defense is able to capitalize and give them some opportunities where, you know, they get a forced fumble or they end up getting an interception off Kelly, they're going to be a good spot. Hamilton facing a lot of questions because at the beginning of the year, they were a lot more, I guess, expected to do more things, if you want to say that, but end up going 8-10 and getting knocked out of the first round of the playoffs yet again. They are not that Grey Cup contender right now. What are they going to have to do to get back to that, if they can get back to that in the upcoming season? Let me know down below your thoughts on this game, and also please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe and have a great night.